given to him by God. Naboth had an absolute right over this land. Nobody could take it. I want you to think about all these UN declarations that are becoming manifest in the United States of America, and all the treaties that we're entering into in this country to take away your land and the rights to your land. This is the spirit of Jezebel. But a usurper of rights in this country, when they start, and they came out, I said I wouldn't talk about any news stories. A federal judge just ruled this week that that's not against the law for any government agent to put a GPS tracker underneath your car without your knowledge and track every place you're going. So the government can do that. We're going to lose all of our rights in this country. And what spirit is that? Jezebel. She seeks to deprive Naboth of his rights to his land, and she seeks to usurp the authority that he has over that. And I want to tell you something. You listen to this. Your kids are listening to Jezebel songs in their head. When they're listening to songs, some of the songs on the radio, country music, doesn't matter, rap music, rock and roll music, some of this love music that's out there, American Idol, most of this music is designed to usurp the authority of parents. This usurp authority of parents is being taught it's being taught in Sunday school classrooms. It's being taught everywhere. How do you feel about when your parents discipline? How does that make you feel? Maybe if you had a dialogue with your parents, maybe they could see something they never saw before. That is usurping your parents' authority. And here it is in the church. I'm not a dictator, and I've been accused of being one. I mean, you got to know me. I mean, you don't just know me by watching me on the internet. I mean, you got to come here and you got to know me. I believe there's a certain way to do things, and I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Man, if you knew how flawed I was. But just because I make mistakes does not mean that I'm not the spiritual head of this church. When you get pulled over by a cop, and he turns the siren on and you pull over the side of the road, does that mean he's a better man than you are? More moral? No. Just means that he has authority, and he has the authority to pull you over and ask you for your license. He has that authority in this country. And any time in a church, when Jezebel's there, she will always usurp biblical authority. Whether it's the husband over a wife, the pastor over a church, or the laws over a country and over its politicians, she will always usurp authority. 1 Kings chapter 21 verse 8, so she wrote letters in Ahab's name. And I've even had people write letters. Okay, she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his. Why didn't she sign her name to it? Because there's something about Jezebel you need to know, that she always operates behind the scenes in darkness and in secret. Okay? Here's the Bible right here, and any secret that you ever want to know, all you got to do is ask God, and He'll reveal it to you in the Scriptures. That's a promise He made. Okay? Here is Morals and Dogma. Morals and Dogma, which is the Masonic, it's kind of like the Masonic Bible. Morals and Dogma starts out here, esoteric book, which means it's a secret. Don't tell anybody what's in here. Okay? She conceals, He reveals. She always works, and so you see this symbol here of Marilyn Ferguson's Aquarian conspiracy, and then you see it here in the New King James Version of the Bible. See, they match. They match really well. Okay, you could have a bedspread with this on it, and you could have drapes with this on it because they match. Okay, why won't they tell you what it means? Okay? Why won't they tell you the truth about what it means? She conceals, He reveals. And so she is working behind the scenes. Okay? She works through deacon boards. She works through boards. She works through people in the church. And she will always be working behind that spirit, whether she's in a man or a woman in the church. She will always be working behind the scenes. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with a seal, and sent letters unto the elders to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. She wrote in the letters, saying, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. See, she sounds religious, doesn't she? Going to have a big fast here. We're going to set Naboth on high. Okay? Now verse 10. And she set 2 men, sons of Belial. Boy, there's a loaded deal right there. before him to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. In other words, she's already got this all figured out. She has already portrayed or played the part of jury and executioner. Judge, jury, and executioner. Okay, this is already a worked out deal how it's going to be. And she works behind the scenes. She doesn't mind lying. Okay, we'll think about that one for a while. She will always lie to get her way, and she'll even set up witnesses. Now say this. Now say this. Now say this. That is the spirit of Jezebel. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. She is the mother conspirator. Okay, you really need to believe in a conspiracy theory, the one that's laid out in the Bible. You really need to get that, because there is one, and she is the mother of all those conspiracies. Now I want to stop right here. For some of you who have not been watching us very long, we have a whole video set called Jesus Christ DNA, the Holy Bible, and amazing things that God is showing us about the Bible and DNA. Number 2, a video called The Mother of All Secrets, and I called it that because the mother is Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And the secret that is out there is her secret that she is trying desperately to conceal. And so then the third one is called Triple Helix. And if you don't have those DVDs, I encourage you to get a copy of them so that you can watch them and copy them and give them out to others, is what we want. So call our office or write us or send us an email. If you want to throw in a donation, we would appreciate it, because it costs us to get them out there. But anyway, she always works behind the scenes, and she is the mother of there was a conspiracy against Naboth, and she's the one that started it all. Okay, so she is the mother conspirator. She works behind the scenes. Look at verse 14. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. Now, here's what I get out of this. I asked myself the question. She's the one that brought everybody to this big meeting. She set up the conspirators. She told the liars to say what they say. She probably had the guards say, now, as soon as they convict him, take him and go out and stone him with stones. I mean, she worked out this whole deal. But she wasn't at the meeting. She was back at home. Okay? She did not want her face to be present there. That's why they came and told her of those things that had been done. She won't dare go out there herself. But she'll get you to do it. Ladies, listen to me. Now, I know the man is to be the man of the house, and he's to stand up for issues that pertain to the house, and I understand that. Ladies, be careful about how you're manipulating your husband. Okay? Be careful if you fill his head full of your grief and say, now you go do what I said, and then you draw back in the background. Okay? If you send him out to do something, I think I'd be there with him. Okay? He's going to need that support. If it's the right issue, he's going to need that support. Okay? I'm just telling you. Let's not have a Jezebel spirit in our lives. Okay? Now, 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 25. But there was none, listen to this, there was none like unto Ahab. Look at Ahab's fault, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. She's a stirrer. You ever had somebody stirring up trouble in your house? You ever had somebody stirring up trouble amongst your kids? You ever had somebody stirring up trouble in your church? She loves to stir it up. She loves to drive people against God and against God's ways. And especially against righteousness. The wickedness. I mean, Ahab was a sinner. And he's kind of like me, and he's kind of like you. He's just a sinner. But there's a spirit that takes people from just being a normal sin to being in the fast lane of wickedness. And it's Jezebel. Think about where this country is right now with the iniquity.